Let's do it one more time. Do it one more time for Shannon.
Okay, one more time.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Everybody get your hands in the position. 3, 2, 1.
Bringing you everything under the Disney umbrella. Network 1901.
You ready to synchronize?
Oh, do you want to? Do we need to clap?
Audacity, yeah.
Yeah, if we're doing Audacity, we need to clap.
Yeah.
Or I can record with a Malto.
No, let's do Audacity because it's. I think the quality's way better.
Okay. Is everybody ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Josh.
Awesome.
Really? You got that? That was right?
He was on mine.
Oh.
I know. For a second, I thought Josh wasn't with it, but I think it worked out.
I never.
Do you want to do it again?
Ugh, Josh. Ugh.
So, like, I think Josh, get your hands up and ready. And I think
It
it'll be
was
better.
ready.
No, you like
was
had to
ready.
sluggishly.
I will admit, I looked over as I was counting, and you were just kind of like waiting.
Yeah.
It's like.
Okay. Let's do it one more time. Do it one more time for Shannon.
Okay, one more time.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Everybody get your hands in the position. 3, 2, 1. Awesome.
Okay. That was cool.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, I asked my mom how to spell awesome once, and she spelled it like that. And I was going to just keep it because neither one of us can spell.
Sweet.
That's because you listen to books too much and you don't read enough.
Yeah. Well, now that it's
burn sauce. Thanks,
now that
Shark.
it's summer, I can't listen to books.
Oh,
anymore.
explaining books to people
Oh, it's so
when she
hard.
can't even read.
Oh, no.
Oh.
You know what's funny is I came up with a podcast idea and I was like, that's just Josh explaining music to me.
I want to explain music to you. Let's do it.
Yeah, I thought it'd be cool if we could like break down like just different music pieces of why, like, you know, Disney, Star Wars, whatever, and talk about why they're cool or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I would listen to it.
Yeah. You would be the only one.
I would be.
Yeah,
the
that's
only
definitely
one.
going down a nerdy hole that probably not many people want to go down.
Ugh.
No, John.
I don't like the imagery of anything you just said.
Get your mind out of it.
This is a family-friendly show, so
Gosh,
No,
Dale.
it's not. Stop telling people that. We don't swear. That's the only thing we don't do.
that's true.
Shannon does sometimes, but I normally
Yeah.
bleep it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Which is ironic that
Yeah.
I'm the one.
I think that's why we have, I think that's what I like about our show and like our network is that, because I think right now there's like family friendly, like, hi, all right, everybody. So like that was a really great. That was a really
True.
great
Yeah.
time. Or there's like I'm like so drunk right now. And I'm gonna crap my pants, like, because I couldn't even say it. And you're like, okay, well, you know that, like, I don't need that as well. I know.
Yeah, we're like we're real.
think
We're just real people.
Yeah, we're just normal,
Just
and we just don't
three
swear.
dudes
So
talking.
yeah, just three dudes talking.
Yeah. Just a bunch of dudes. That's
Just a
all.
bunch of dudes hanging out. Because that's what dudes can do, is they hang.
Can I just like point out too? So this is my book for
Where did
the
you
world.
pull that out of?
Out of a rabbit, out of the nerd hole.
It just
He is wearing a
appeared.
vest.
I'm wearing a vest. Just I'm a magician with a book. So this book is like the book that I've been writing on my notes and for the world it never was. And I like this hardcover so much. I just want to
Beautiful.
publish it. Like
This is the book I
and
write
this-
all my notes in. It has my name on it, so I don't lose it.
When you get, interesting enough for people to want to read your diary notes, then, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, once you're like at the level of,
This
Ulysses
is-
S. Grant.
This is the world that never was notes.
That's true.
This is this
Hey,
is
in like
top
100
quality.
years, that's gonna be like some wanted art for a museum.
No, it's gonna be 5 cents in an antique store.
I'm excited for Friday. I'm excited for Friday to hear the new
I am too.
episode. I can't wait for you to be editing it minutes before you release it.
No, I've been editing it earlier today. I was editing some stuff.
Oh, sure.
So
Okay.
I'm on the ball at least for episode 1.
Yeah,
so,
that's good. That's
At
good.
least.
And Josh, you were live streaming. That's fun.
I did live stream for 9 days in a row. Today's my first day that I'm not live streaming. Well, I mean, like when we're recording this.
Yeah.
and it felt so good. I mean, like I loved the live stream, but it felt so good not to worry about like the battery life of my phone and like being able to like walk into buildings and be like, oh, is the data gonna change in here?
It will apparently in every building.
And every building, somebody was like, hey, let's ride Pirates of the Caribbean. I was like, that sounds like a great idea. And then like as soon as we went under the waterfall,
go to Splash Mountain.
And I did Splash Mountain.
Splash Mountain
and
was great.
That was okay.
It worked out well.
Okay.
It worked out well. It was too dark, but it worked out well. Don't worry about the dog. We don't care. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Without further ado, because we can talk about this stuff, but we might as well get the show started. This is episode 18 of the DCC. We've got the box office preview. We've got This Week on YouTube. We've got the 411 on 1901. We've got a huge Marvel moment. We've got some news about the parks and the craziness that is not Mission Breakout, but Avatar.
Aw, dang.
It's so crazy. And we're going to geek out and talk about some pretty serious stuff, actually, later. And, so to all who come to this happy place, welcome to the Disney Culture Club.
Okay, before you do anything, let me get him like a pacifier or something because he's waking up.
Pacifier.
She gives her dog a pacifier?
Yeah, that's what I thought was weird too.
There you go.
Yeah. Like, why not? Like, what about a cone? Like,
yeah. What about what normal
now.
people give dogs?
Hey, that's what we say. He needs something to occupy him. Here, look.
Like a bone?
Well, I don't
throw
have
him
any
a
of that in here.
bone.
Yeah.
I don't have any of that in here, and that's loud, so I just put a sock over his face. So he'll be okay.
And this is where Shannon gets taken away for animal cruelty.
Cool.
Yeah, super sweet. And so, like, hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. We are super excited. We just finished. Man, it was really tiring. Shannon didn't participate at all, but for Josh and I, it was super tiring doing this live stream.
What?
Okay, see, some people have to be at work.
Also, Shannon was in the live stream off and on.
Really?
I would like pop in like on a break, and I'd be like, "Sup,"
nice.
and then I'd go back to work.
I'm just giving her a hard
You
time.
just never
Never
correlated
crossed
this. Yeah, never crossed the paths.
Yeah.
No, and it
You were
wasn't
never
hard.
there
It wasn't hard for me either. It was all hard for Josh.
Yeah, he was the one doing all the work.
Yeah. And he became like best friends with Mike while he was doing it, which I don't think was the outcome.
Truthfully, I did.
Yeah.
I really did. Like, we hung out 3 times.
Yeah.
Over the course of the last few days, and I got to know him quite a bit more.
I was worried that that you guys wouldn't get along. Like, there was like a part of me who was like, what if Mike is just
What
like,
if they're the exact
I
opposites?
don't like Josh at all. He
No.
seems like to brush me off. or
Paparazzi
whatever.
Mike.
And
Paparazzi Mike
I was
is
worried
definitely.
you were like wouldn't. I was worried that you would just want to be like so singularly focused that you wouldn't want other people, but other people totally like helped your live stream. I liked it.
Yeah, and I kind of prefer to have other people in live stream because I'm so used to hosting a podcast.
Yeah.
To be able to ask people questions and stuff that it's difficult when like I'm just staring at my phone and I'm like, let's just keep talking.
Gives you something else to do.
I think some of my favorite moments are Angie moments. One, her yelling at you about not walking into the ducks, which is funny because I messaged Josh and I'm like, Josh, at least you have evidence of other days without Angie there showing her that you didn't walk into anything without her.
I didn't walk into anything, and I did show ducks.
Yeah. And also to her to like get you to like whisper to you while you're live streaming, tell you that she was bored. That cracked me up so much. Like, it was like, hey, I just gotta stop live streaming. I'm really bored right now. It's like, cool, go do something. I'm in the middle of a live stream. What do you want me to do, my love?
I got to do this. Yeah. So my life was kind of weird for a few days, for sure.
I just thought that was cracked me up.
The only thing with live streaming too is that like and I said this in the live stream, when I do videos, like like you're seeing 10 minutes out of my 4-hour day,
Yeah.
And in the live stream, you were seeing like from when I walked into the park almost to when I was leaving the park every time.
Yeah.
And like there were definitely moments. There's a moment that like I was extremely embarrassed about, and like so I was in the Matterhorn, and like in the Matterhorn you have to like sit where you're like straddling the person in front of you, singularly. And I've got my bag in this hand, with all my stuff in it, and I've got the phone in this hand. Live
Let's just
streaming.
say left and right
like,
for listeners.
Yeah, left and right. And I was like, how do I get out of this seat? And so I literally just rolled out of the seat onto the concrete.
While he's live streaming. So you can see this
While I
moment
live stream.
where the camera's like, whoa.
Yeah, and it was just like, and I just like didn't, I like focus. I like didn't even look at people around me. I'm like, no one saw this. It doesn't matter. Let's go meet Mickey Mouse.
Literally me.
Yeah.
It was so cool. You had like your own totally unique take. It was so funny. Like I loved it. It was so good. I really, 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 really loved it. It was just awesomeness. We also have, before we move on, we have 2 new reviews.
Woohoo.
Ooh.
One is from the sweetest person, Skylar. I just so you know, Skylar, I read your words to my kids, and I'm not gonna, but and they were like that. They were like, "Wow, Dad, it's like really nice, like it was just really sweet. They just really got it." So let's just get on to these, because that's what people do the reviews for, is so they can
Hear their words.
Yeah, hear their words. Fun. 5 stars. Skylar, if you love Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, geeking out, and you just want some fun, warm, likable people to bring cheer and positivity to your day, then this is the podcast to listen to. Sorry, I thought there was going to be a period somewhere there. That's why I kept reading it like that. This network is awesome, and it constantly is constantly growing and bringing more impressive content. Listen to it. You will be truly happy that I told you to.
Was that a threat?
Yeah.
I think he made a threat.
I think it was a threat.
There was a threat at the end. And it was great.
Cool.
But that's a great review. Like we're sitting on I think 23 reviews in total now, which is huge for us. That's like that's awesome. We love it. Thank you so much. And then Jay Young Peel. Thanks, Jay Young Peel. You were like almost every day in the live stream, I think.
I think so.
I think so. So love this network. If you are looking for more Disney knowledge, it's called All Things Disney, 5 stars. Love this network. If you are looking for more Disney knowledge, Josh's Modern Mouse Radio and The World That Never Was are so informative. I feel like I'm in a college class, that's great. That's a positive, right?
I mean, I'm not getting paid college class, level teaching, but it's positive.
And that's nice because I don't think that sometimes I feel like I don't feel enough love on our reviews for Josh, so I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for the love. I appreciate that.
The DCC has all the current new Disney news in a fun kind of pop culture way. Each member's excitement and love of Disney is so obvious, any Disney fan will love listening to them. Again, thank you so much, Jay and Peel. Just amazing. So many thanks, so much love. We really appreciate it, and I think those I feel like those came because you did the live stream, Josh. So
well, I also feel like the solo show you did last week was really good, and it kind of gave like a different spin. You got to talk about your personal feelings about Disney and what it means to you, and how like doing the Network 1901 stuff has really kind of changed your perception of Disney, and like how you've grown to be a different type of lover of Disney. And like that really was like a cool personal moment that like we don't normally get to see from Dale. So, I got a lot of like 2 hours of personal moments because I had to like roll out of the Matterhorn, but like you got to be able to do your own solo personal thing.
And when I was editing that, like even like it made me think about like all my Disney stuff, and I'm just like, man, like this episode came out really, really good. So I really liked that.
Yeah, thanks. Like it's easier when you don't have 2 anchors holding you down. So
whatever.
That hurts.
We can just leave,
Just trolling. Let's get on to the box office preview. Shannon, Tell us about Pirates.
Okay, so Pirates was actually better than I thought it was going to be. Let me just say that to start off with. I did really, really enjoy it. I like from the second I sat down and I saw that it was going to be about like Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann's son, I was like, yes, sign me on. That was like one of my first ever OTPs. I'm like, yes, this is what I need in my life. However, I don't know even what the heck that plot was supposed to be. Oh my god, there was so much nonsense. There were so many plot holes. I felt like I was doing CinemaSins while I was watching this movie because there was just so much.
Nice.
And there is going to be another one, but I do think like what this movie accomplished. Yeah, what it accomplished though was that like this is what we should have gotten instead of Stranger Tides. Because it was more like, okay, let's pick up like 20 or so years later after the end of, whatever the third one was and keep going instead of having this weird misadventure in the middle here. So overall, like 6.9.
I think Stranger Tides, though, I think like it being a book that they were trying to like kind of adapt, like a story that they're trying to adapt was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think they adapted it properly.
No, I don't think so.
And do you feel like by the next movie we're gonna move away from Jack Sparrow?
I think, from what I saw, I feel like we will still have Jack Sparrow, but I feel like they're slowly maybe starting to back off. I want to see more, like our two main characters in this movie was Karina and Henry. Yeah. I want to see more of them and less of Jack.
And so. I love number one because Jack is a supporting character to Will and Elizabeth. Yeah. So like, I think Jack Sparrow works as the supporting character.
But when you make him the main character, it falls apart.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, because he's too chaotic. He's chaotic good, but he's chaotic.
Yeah. And it's better to see people react to him instead of...
Exactly, yeah. And any D&D fans know that chaotic people are a pain to play with. So, but it's already made $270 million, and it's already made its budget back. So, yay! Guardians of the Galaxy 2 has made $783 million. I'm surprised that it didn't hit $1 billion. It blows me away. Shannon's wearing her I'm Mary Poppins, y'all, which you can all get on it's tpublic.com/users/network1901. I'm pretty sure that's the exact HTML or not HTML URL. And then Baywatch has only made $23 million on a $69 million budget. You know what? That's actually not bad because I don't really feel like it was promoted very well. But for a rock movie, it's probably going to be his like biggest flop after like Tooth Fairy. So, I wanted to go see Pirates, but it was the kid's birthday weekend, and we just didn't want to we went down to America. I don't know if you've been there before. They have all the same similar stuff that I have, but in larger portions. That's basically.
Okay, see, I wanted to ask this. Okay, do you guys not have Target in Canada?
No.
Okay, see, that was so confused. Like, why did you come to America to go to Target?
We don't have Target, Target, as we call it. We don't have it. We did, and then they left. So they came, and they're like, oh, God, this place sucks, and then they left. And it's because, I don't know who thought of the locations. In the States, you get it in, Bellingham. For us, it's the closest Target in Bellingham, and it's the Bellis Fair area, which is only about a half hour, from the border, and it's 2.5 hours from Seattle. But people in Canada don't do that. They want to go downtown to go to Target. You know what I mean? They don't want to, they don't, and in Canada, they put them all in the weird, remote towns, and everyone didn't want to go, and they weren't as good, and they didn't have very good deals, and they didn't have all the cool stuff, so they got rid of them pretty quick. Under a year, I think.
Shannon has to get up again. Hang
on. I'm still gonna talk. I don't care that Shannon's getting rid of talk. No, I'll wait. She's gonna be editing this. Well, now I have to edit this for the video, so thanks a lot, Shannon.
I just
I'm
want to put
sorry.
this out for the record that this was not my fault.
Yeah. Thanks for ruining the show, Shannon.
I'm sorry.
So but I haven't got to see Pirates yet, and I really wanted to, and there's been like a debate, like, because we wanted to see Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but that's kind of like come and gone now. And Captain Underpants is coming, and the kids really want to see Captain Underpants, and Wonder Woman is coming out, and that's getting great reviews. So I'm definitely going to try to see Pirates of the Caribbean on Dash's birthday, which is Thursday, and then because he's really, really, really wants to see it, and then I guess we'll try to go to Captain Underpants. I don't know, man, so much money. So like, when am I going to see Wonder Woman? And
Right?
yeah, it's tough. I wish we had like a movie pass or whatever. And I can't believe
I'm
Cars
mostly
3 is coming out
excited
soon.
for Wonder Woman because I know how to do the braid now. So
Cars
I
3 is
wanna go.
coming out soon. Yeah, you do? Oh, cool. Cars 3 is coming out soon. I'm actually excited about it because I like Cars Land so much.
I saw.
Okay.
They played the extended like trailer during Pirates, and the more I see of this movie, the angrier it makes me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
We don't need... Like, I don't know why they needed to make a Rocky 5 type movie.
no.
Like, why
yeah.
they thought that was a good idea. I feel...
And like, you know, in my mind, like, okay, of course there's going to be these newer, faster cars that are going to, like, you know, take your place and whatever. Like, you're an old car. Like, maybe you should
but
retire.
That's what Lightning was original. Like, Lightning did the same thing in 1.
Exactly. And I'm just kind of like, I'm having
It's
a hard
just a
time
role
sympathizing
reversal.
with this character right now. But I don't know. Like, maybe it'll surprise me.
Well, this is... here's my thing. This would have been a good number 2 movie.
Yes.
For number 3, I feel like for a third film, I felt like it needed to be about something else, and hopefully it is. And they try to get that like that global universal message in number 2 about all in all and oil and stuff like that. But I don't see. I don't know. We'll see. Again, I love Cars Land so much that I want to like Cars 3. You know, like and Cars is. Now that I've been exposed to Cars 2, Cars 1 was a fine film, even though it's a ripoff of another film.
It's like after seeing this worse movie, it doesn't look so bad.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm always going into these movies very hopeful. So, Josh, are you going to try to catch any films?
Am I gonna catch any films? I don't even know what I want to see. Like, there's nothing right now. Like Pirates 5, Cars 3. I had this conversation with somebody about sequels, and they actually work for Disney as a distribution data person. So they actually analyze numbers and analyze dates and like what dates have worked well for other things. And like the reason why Hollywood and why Disney continues to make sequels is because even though people are crapping all over them in the US or in North America, they're doing very well in China. That's why like Fast and the Furious has 8 films, is because they still do well in overseas markets. And
they're not burnt out on sequels like we are.
Yeah. And so I think like this fatigue, the sequel fatigue for me is still happening. And like, I'm just looking for like original content. Yes. Like I liked Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but like, I can't wait to go see.
But that's because it's
something original.
And I know, Guardian, I don't know. It started at a higher echelon, because we're not with Pirates 5. We're not starting where Pirates 1 left off. We're starting on where Pirates 4 left off. Right. So it's just
I was already
hobbling along.
I was already fatigued with sequels by the time 3 years ago when Guardians 1 came out, and I was like, this is a breath of fresh air because I've seen all sequels and this is something different.
Yeah.
And it has no ties to any of the other superhero films.
That's why something like La La Land also hits home too, where it's like, yay.
It's like this is finally different.
Original
it's not connected
content
to anything.
made for a movie, not adapted from something.
And like everything coming out right now is like a reboot or a sequel or something, except for maybe Dunkirk, but I don't know.
So excited for Dunkirk.
I know you're excited for Dunkirk.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, like I'm excited for Wonder Woman, but really I'm not super excited for anything until Spider-Man, which again is a reboot. So,
yep, that's true. I know it's That's why I am excited for all the other stuff that Disney has in the works, right? I'm excited for Paper Magicians and Chronicles of Puritan and stuff. Like, I really hope that gets legs.
But like for me, the most exciting film to come out this year right now is Coco, because like
it's new.
Yeah, it's new and it's different, and I'm
curious to see. I'm curious to see if they can make something out of, because like I don't think it's going to be very good, and I'm curious to see if they prove me wrong. Right? Like
there's a lot riding on this movie for sure.
For Pixar, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I agree.
Just for their branding, right? Like people are like, well, they're still going to make their money. Like Coco will make all its money back unless people are super racist, but I don't think they're that racist.
Do you think it's going to do better than Cars 3?
No,
not at all. Not even close.
Which again will point to the data analysis type of thing, and that's why sequels will continue.
Yeah, and then we'll just get more sequels.
And we'll get Cars 4.
But The Book of Henry is another book is another movie I really want to see. And I think everyone should make sure to go check that out because it's Colin Trevorrow. If you remember what he did Safety Not Guaranteed and a little movie called Jurassic World. So, so everyone should check out The Book of Henry. That is coming out June 16th, same time as Cars. So it's probably going to get destroyed. And then
get left in the dust.
Yeah, and then Transformers 5 and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Captain Underpants and Wonder Woman right now actually are the ones I'm most excited for. Cause my kids
which is saying something.
Yeah, my kids are jacked about that. So, yeah, let's move on to this week on YouTube. Joshua, tell us about what you've brought.
Ooh.
We should do a musical episode of the DC.
We should not. So Shannon is normally the person that's like all about the YouTubes and bringing something to the table, but I saw that Rob Plays That Game has been doing astronomically wonderful on YouTube. I've seen his videos change and grow and develop, and his subscriber count go up in the past few months. So like he's doing something right, and I think that there is a reason for that. His videos are very different and entertaining, and like there are things still, and I said this in the World That Never Was preview, there are things that I've learned recently that like I didn't even know. There's still things to learn out there in the Disney realm, and I did not know that there was going to be a Chinatown part of Main Street USA, and that is what inspired the Tiki Room and several other things that kind of made their way around Disneyland over time. And so he does this great little video on YouTube. I mean, the link will be in the description of this. And it's just so good. Like the whole thing is just so well put together. It answers all the questions. It ties us up into like a little bow. He does really great stuff. And he narrates videos so well. Really charming, likable personality. So I recommend seeing this little history bit from Rob Plays.
Yeah, he's super nice.
Yeah.
Shannon.
Yes, I also brought a YouTube video this week. This one made me think of Dale because it's about Arrival, and it's examining an adaptation from lessons from the screenplay. And I love this channel because he does really amazing video essays on just like just movies and like how they work and like what they're like the stories that they're trying to tell and all that kind of fun stuff. And this one really talks about how Arrival is adapted from this short story where there was no screenplay here. There was absolutely no way they could turn this into a movie, and how they did that, and how it's really a look and like at humanity. Like sci-fi at its core is like about like us as humans, and like the aliens don't ever do anything, but you know, like we're afraid of them because we know what humans are capable of. And I love it so much. Like it makes me want to watch Arrival again, like so bad.
Yeah, no, that is basically is what sci-fi is all about. You know, like sci-fi allows you to look at society and critique society in a way that you can't otherwise. And the reason why we're afraid of aliens is because we're like, oh, well, they're going to farm us and eat us and burn our whole planet down, because that is what
we do.
That's what we would do to them.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. I wish I could find the exact the quote from Isaac Asimov. Here, let me see if I can find it real quick.
I think that sci-fi does a really great job of that. I feel like animation, anytime Disney does an animated film with non-human characters, it really does point out the idea that like we can like Zootopia was very much a social commentary. And you can go way back to like the Aristocats, which is definitely social commentary. Lady and the Tramp is social commentary. Oliver and Company is like, anytime that they've used non-humans, they usually try and fit more stuff like that in. And then like Pixar has done a great job of doing more social commentary as well over time. So there are different genres, but sci-fi definitely lends itself to that.
Yeah, and that's like my favorite thing. That's why I like historical retelling so much, because it's like nothing's really happening, but it's really talking about like how the society worked and like how this is how people really thought. And that's kind of what inspired me to talk about the Disney princesses the way that I do, because you're looking at it through a lens.
Right. You see it from a certain side you might not see it from normally.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't quite the quote I was remembering, but it's pretty... individual science fiction stories may seem as trivial as ever to the blinder critics and philosophers of today, but the core of science fiction, its essence, has become crucial to our salvation if we're ever to be saved at all. And so,
I like that.
Yeah, so it, and he has a bunch of ones like that where it's just like, science fiction writers foresee the inevitable, and although problems and catastrophes may be inevitable, solutions are not. There's a bunch of stuff like that. Isaac Asimov is a pretty smart guy. But he doesn't get listened to because sci-fi people are often were not very religious, and then so America rejects their opinions.
Well, yeah, totally.
Yeah. And and the best religious people like I've ever met are the ones who are open to philosophy and all ideas, right? Because it's important. Right? Like,
right.
It is true. The arrival and the examination of adaptation is so cool. I love science fiction. It is the crux of most stories, and I just love it. Like, you're able to just tell something about ourselves, and I think even to like Zootopia, using anthropomorphic animals is a science fiction in its sense, because it's telling us about society, but it's like everyone didn't get upset because it was animals.
Exactly. It's like you're like one step away from it. So it's like, oh, that's not me. Yeah. These are bunnies and foxes.
Yeah. I don't understand at all that it's strange that we would be targeting a single group of people and shooting
who would do that
in the streets.
That doesn't sound familiar at all.
Weird. Yeah. They shouldn't do that to those predator. Oh, that's so weird. Yeah. That's this week on YouTube. If you have any suggestions, or if you do a YouTube channel or whatever, send it to us. Tell us. Comment down below on YouTube. Tweet us at Network1901 or at Instagram. On Instagram we have photos from Disneyland, photos of us. Dale doing weird Swedish.
Who were you? What was going on in that little Instagram video?
I just wanted to do a funny character that I kind of have done in my past with my friends and stuff like that. Where in Vancouver, our hockey team has a lot of Swedish players on it, and so we like kind of joke that like there's like the emo Swedish people, like, but what would emo Swedish people have to complain about? And so the joke was like that he would want a slightly better universal healthcare system than his parents, and his parents don't understand him. Anyways, and I was just kind of just joking around. I thought it was kind of funny, and then the town that I put myself from is where the Sedins are from, which are these hockey players that I like. So it was all kind of pretty inside joke, but I was just having fun, and that's what Instagram's for, just to have fun. So let's get on to the 401 on 1901. We talked about the live streams. You can go back and check them. There is a playlist for them. I don't know if they're all added. I guess I can do that. I'll add them to the playlist. And so you can watch all 9 days of Josh live streaming and watch him learn.
Good luck.
and get better. And then also, I think Danny may be taking some highlight moments and making a montage for everybody. And he wanted to get like a bunch of like funny moments and things like that. So Danny, make sure to use the time where Josh rolled out of the
Matterhorn.
But the live streams are there. Also on Modern Mouse Radio, Josh informs us about Fantasound, which is basically the invention of 7.1 channels surround sound. But not digitally, physically, and that was too hard for everyone to understand and to pay for. So but Fantasound was great. I had somebody tell me like they'd never listened to Modern Mouse Radio before, and they listened to the Fantasound like, whoa, this is cool. Like, is this what he does all the time? I'm like, he kind of starting to become that way. So it's super cool. Check that out. Also, The World That Never Was Season 2, Episode 0.
Episode 0. I was
out on Friday.
Yeah, it's a preview episode.
Yeah. Well, we Josh and I had talked about it, and we'd felt that sometime it's good to do an episode 0 so you don't have to explain your premise all the time.
Right.
And you can just kind of like get into your episodes, and it kind of just helps like get people into and some people like preview episodes, some people don't. But I think it's a good idea. It was good. And I liked it. It got me super excited, and I think your production quality is fantastic. So make sure to tell people about The World That Never Was, even if they're not necessarily like Disney fans. It's just super interesting stuff. And so World That Never Was is going to be every Friday. You can go to network1901.com and just click on World That Never Was and listen to it there. It will be on iTunes. It's on iTunes as well. But you have to kind of like search for it. So there's you would have to search through it on iTunes.
Easiest way to do is to go to the
easiest
website.
way is network1901.com and click on that to listen to season 1, which I recommend going back and do. If you are someone who's joined us later and you totally missed World That Never Was, go listen to season 1 and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for season 2.
For real.
And season 2 starts on Friday. For real. Episode 1. And Josh, what are you going to be talking about on episode 1?
Episode 1, we're going to be talking about the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Disney had the original plans to building it that kind of fell through, and Universal built it. So even though it is a thing that is, as far as a Disney property, it is the world that never was. And we'll be talking about business and relations and things like that.
Could you imagine if Universal didn't have Harry Potter? They'd be getting destroyed by Disney.
They'd be failing.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
They'd be failing.
They wouldn't have turned a corner like they did.
Oh, no, yeah.
And could you imagine if Disney had Harry Potter World and Star Wars Land?
Yeah, I mean,
that would they would just crush everybody.
Why would you go anywhere else?
Yeah, for real.
Like, you'd be like, oh, Simpsons is cool, but not worth my time.
No, yeah. Like, the only reason I even want to go to Universal right now anymore is because I want to go to Harry Potter World.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, of course. I'm going to wear my Slytherin robes, get paparazzi Mike to take some sexy photos of me, because apparently that's what people like, is sexy photos of Slytherin people.
I mean, I laugh at that, but I'm like a huge fan of Draco Malfoy, so I can't really laugh at that.
That's why we get along so well, Shannon.
Oh, is it?
Let's get on to our Marvel moment. So this Marvel moment is that there's just this little ride, this little attraction that...
No, it's not. It's amazing, and everybody should go ride it right now. It's beautiful and wonderful, and I need to ride it again today.
Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. And there's tons of images on our Instagram at Network1901. And Josh, you were live streaming a whole lead up to it, but a couple days beforehand when he gets to DCA, Disney's California Adventure, is you checking stuff out, looking at stuff, and getting some stuff that other people didn't get, because the only other people that were live streaming or doing videos of it were like that day, and they like did that, and they're like, oh, crazy, oh my god, it was so crazy, I'm having a great time, woo! And like, you know, you should do this ride, and it's cool, but like you had like days and days to like walk around and be like, hey, like check this thing out that they're doing,
right?
And this stuff, it was
like
really
we'd already
cool.
kind of been there, done that by the time that yeah, I think leading up, the cool thing about doing it, especially the last 3 or 4 days, and when I was at California Adventure, and I was kind of watching a lot of people in suits and stuff prepping. Imagineers were out, and like literally I watched guys spray painting like things 48 hours before the ride was supposed to,
Yeah.
be to the public. People were riding it that day, and they were still spray painting stuff, getting it ready. But I saw, them put up the staging so that they could have the opening ceremony, and I saw all kinds of different radio hosts and television hosts, and they were setting up different stations so that it would be easy for television hosts to come in and say, "Look at all this stuff," and then then they would take their camera away, and then the next television host would come in and stand in the same spot and be like, "Look at all this stuff." And it was like Disney just had like this whole weird setup of like several days of like knowing exactly at 9 a.m. this happens, at 11 a.m. this happens, at 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. this happens. And like they had everything done so well. And then like by the time that they opened to the public on Saturday, they brought all these people in, and it was crazy because there was so many people. But by that afternoon, the line for Guardians of the Galaxy was less of a line than the line for Splash Mountain. Because they'd done so well in prepping cast members, getting people set up, getting people through the line, and allowing people to see what they needed to see and to take their pictures and to take video or whatever. But then like also saying, hey, while this ride is going on, we also have this Avengers show over here, and then you can also take this like personality test, and there's these food trucks over here, and like they were really pushing people to go to everything. And so that was kind of cool. And like unlike Pandora, I think Pandora's biggest problem is that everyone's siphoning into one space.
They all want to go on the ride.
There's two rides, one food outlet, and one store, and everybody is there all at one time.
Yeah. To the point in which did we skip the? No, we didn't. So like we can kind of branch this because it kind of talks about that because they branch. So the news thing was about Avatar. 300-minute and 175-minute waits for Avatar and the Avatar rides, and Frozen had a 10-minute wait,
which has not happened since it opened.
Yeah,
no,
it's gonna be
dethroned.
Disney World is going to be a crazy place when everyone's at Hollywood Studios and everyone's at Animal Kingdom, and that will give Disney the opportunity to work on Tomorrowland and to work on Epcot.
Hopefully.
Yeah, totally. Like right now, so I'm showing on my phone, pardon me, but it says, if you can read that, it says a 90-minute wait.
That's not bad.
No, that's not.
At an
Better than
attraction
300.
that opened yesterday.
But is Disney going to be happy with that, or would they want a longer line up there?
No, they don't. So the way that the Guardians attraction is it's pushed up right against the Hyperion building, which their lineup is right outside. So they don't want the line for Guardians to take up any of that area, which it was yesterday. They didn't have a Frozen show because the whole lineup was taken up yesterday. And then to the right of the Guardians of the Galaxy building is where the red car trolley has to come down the street. And yesterday they didn't run the red car trolley because there were so many people in the street.
Okay,
so they want to have the red car trolley going, and they don't want the Frozen line to mesh with the Guardians line. So they do want a line that's going to be constant and moving, but they want that line to be consolidated into the space it's supposed to be.
What's Radiator Springs at right now?
Radiator Springs Racers, good question, sir. Was actually still pretty popular yesterday. It's a 60-minute wait, which
that is not bad. Like
it's not. No,
for Radiator Springs, it's usually in the 120 to 200.
It's usually pretty high, and everything else like around the parks, it looks like, is about 30 to 45 minutes overall. You're looking actually at a 70-minute wait for Toy Story Midway Mania. Which is also an extremely popular attraction. But everything else is like tops out at like 30 to 45, and there are a lot of attractions that are
pretty good. Yeah.
So really, I mean, like Guardians being in this range and not being like 175 or 300 minutes like Pandora is, I think really says something about like how well California Adventure and the cast members there and the staff or whatever prepped themselves for this attraction.
Round of applause for the DCA.
Yeah, for sure.
The DCA people. Because if we know DCA is probably ran completely separately than Disneyland. Like that's just how Disney likes to do stuff, right? Everyone's a specialist, so it's very, 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 very cool. It looks so. I'm so excited to be able to go to it in July. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. I like the whole, like, the lead up seems cooler, seems way more interactive. Like, it seems like they took the ideas and the things that people liked about the Florida ride and kind of brought it, and like jammed it in the Disneyland version and then made it Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what I mean? Like, there is more interaction. There's more, like, you're walking through the collector's space. There's more stops on the ride, as you were saying. And that's what's so great about the Florida version of Tower of Terror is, like, you go through the ride, you see more stuff, you see more floors. And
you're more immersed.
Yeah, it's
for
more
sure.
immersive.
And the great thing about the collector's collection in the lobby area, the old lobby of the Tower of Terror, is that those boxes are all set up to be taken out. So if there's anything that comes from another Marvel film, or they find something that would be cool, or they think up whatever, they can replace it. So the queue area can always kind of forever be changing. There are some things that are in there that will more than likely always stay, but like Cosmo the dog. But for the most part, there are a lot of pieces that are in there that could change year to year, or even, month to month. I don't know how extensive they're going to do that, but and then being able to have 6 different versions of the re-rideability of it, makes it worth it as well.
You look good
really
with the
smart.
tan. I gotta just tell you this, Josh. You look great with the tan.
9 days out in the sun because I couldn't go into a building without losing, the live stream connection. We'll do that to you.
Yeah. You look like a cool rock star.
I'm feeling not like a cool rock star. Definitely feeling like I woke up today and was like, well, let's do this.
Just like waddled in here and just sat down.
No, but
waddled.
I got up today and I started cleaning the garage and started getting ready and prepped, and I was like, I don't have to live stream, but I've got so many other things that I put off because I was live streaming.
Yeah.
Right?
So
and if you're not doing something, you're complaining. So
true. It's true. I can't. I'm not a person just to
don't feel bad for Josh, everybody. He's fine.
That's true.
But we do love him and appreciate him. Star Wars. Let's get on to our last topic of the show. I was gonna say of the day, but I'm sure you all will have other topics in your day. And Josh has nothing to add. Okay.
Nope, not at all.
He's falling asleep. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Totally fine.
Oh man, I loved your live streams. If you didn't have to be live to enjoy it. Seriously, go check them out. They're awesome. Okay, I guess we're gonna geek out about this. I just figured it worked in this segment. There's an HBO documentary called Mummy, Dead and Dearest, and it has a crazy, crazy connection to Disney. Like, a much bigger one. Josh, you watched the documentary. Shannon,
yes.
I'm sure you didn't have time to watch the documentary. Which is
I watched the trailer and read about it, so I'm really interested to hear, like, you guys describe it to me.
But as I was watching this HBO documentary, because I watched it because Mandy likes murder. And
so does Angie, so that's why we watched it.
She finds it fascinating. So I watched it and I was just like, I was like, oh yeah, of course, like she went to Disney World and stuff like that. That's cool, whatever. But then she was like, yeah, like I would only watch Disney movies really, and because her mom was keeping her in this like child state, and her whole basis of justifying the murdering of her mother is because of Tangled.
Yeah, well, okay, so there's a bigger premise here.
I don't want to give too much of the documentary away, though, right?
Okay.
So, like, that's why I'm just trying to talk about
that connection, though, because, like, the second you put that it was Tangled, I'm like, I bet it was this thing.
Yeah, but basically
just assume it's a real-life version of Tangled.
And so, the documentary is about this girl who, her mother was doing Munchausen by proxy, which is basically pretending that her daughter was sick, but her daughter didn't really know that she wasn't sick, and she was kind of sick because of all the different medications she was taking, and so all of her symptoms were because of these medications, and so I just don't want to get too much into it because I want you to go see the documentary, and but basically, she kills her mom, or has her mom killed, and her justification of it is because of Tangled. And she was like, well, anytime they take care of the bad guy in these movies, which is like her main like media source exposure with Disney films, was that they kill the bad guy or they get rid of the bad guy and everyone is happy after. Right? There's no
Which is interesting because it's like that is basically what a lot of children's media says, and then without that extra socialization, you wouldn't really make the distinction of go like, oh, well, you can't just kill people. Yeah. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah, because they tell you, like, you can kill your captors, you can kill people who are mean to you, and again, for like her she talks about Tangled in the HBO documentary. They show like scenes of Tangled, and she talks about the exact situation. She's like, this is a girl who was imprisoned and being mistreated and was lied to, and then she
would be the hero, in her mind.
Yeah, and she was the hero in the situation. Like, they even kind of show like after she had killed her mom and stuff like that. Like, she's like yay, like we did it, like we took down, like they're like giddy about it, and it's not like natural boring killers where they're like, yeah, we just killed somebody, like we're so powerful. Like, they're like, yay, we, like, you could tell it's like, yeah, like we're free of this demon and like life is gonna just be great from now on.
Well, and it's kind of interesting, like, obviously I haven't seen this, but now it's making me think of like when people are kidnapped and like abused and like held in like a basement and stuff like that, and then like maybe they like killed their captor and they got away. Like, they're not they are kind of seen as like a, hey, look, this person took down this horrible person,
and that's kind of what they, even through the court proceedings. So this is one of those ones where even during the court proceedings they were like, well, we kind of get why she did it. And they don't really like throw the book at the girl, which I think, like, I don't know, it's a tough one. I think it's very, like, that's a tough one. Because like if you were in a hostage situation and you killed your hostage, you wouldn't even have charges pressed against you, probably. Right? Like,
so that's where you get into like the nitty gritty, because it's like, how is this different if her mom was kind of holding her daughter captive?
It's not different at all. It's worse. It's longer abuse. But there is some ownership on her side, I feel, though, as much as, like, she could have said something. There was a lot of, like, I don't know. It's tough. You're afraid of your mom, I guess, and you can't know the psyche of someone who's being abused like that. The victim psyche. Like, I don't know. You just wonder, like, well, why didn't you, like, you were in front of cameras and news all the time. Like, someone could have helped you.
Yeah, but I mean, and you're right. Like, her psyche was probably really damaged from living like that for so long, and that's probably why she was inspired by a Disney movie to kill somebody.
Yeah, exactly. But it made me kind of think about it. Do you feel that Disney has any sort of responsibility in making sure, like, okay, so like when you watch Pinocchio, or like, there's a couple other ones. Where, like, don't smoke because we have smoking in this because it was a movie from a long time ago. Right. Don't you think it'd be more important to have like a don't murder people? Like,
no, I don't think it's Disney's responsible at all. I think it's the parental guidance and is the one responsible for saying, well, like, hey, now, because that's where you get into that nature versus nurture and the whole, like, do video games make people violent? It's like, well, not really. It's how they were, like, socialized in the culture is kind of the thing.
Sure, but like, say, like 13, I'll get to you, Josh. And if you talk about like 13 Reasons Why, people were saying that it was glorifying suicide, and that there were suicides that may have not happened if the show didn't exist.
That have come out of it.
Which is true. Like, I do agree with that. I feel like, especially with that one, there should have been something, but really I think it comes down to, like, I don't know. It's media, and I feel like the way you're socialized and the people around you should be able to give you the cues to be like, no, wait a minute, like this is not real. Like you don't need to be taking that away from it.
So you're saying like because this girl's in a very extreme circumstance, so she didn't have that parent to be like, well, no, don't kill people.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
like,
I mean, that is
a
true.
very insular case, a situation. That means Disney doesn't have responsibility to society to educate people on this.
I think, to be honest, so like you have to have situations, right? Like, let's talk about drugs. So like, if there wasn't a drug culture, if there wasn't smoking or whatever, you wouldn't need to have those conversations, and you wouldn't need to have the guy come to your school or whatever in 4th grade and be like, don't do drugs, and you wouldn't have to have that parental control or whatever. But like, you will still, like, if it wasn't as big of a problem as it is, but like, there are still drugs in the world. There's still things that you should have those conversations about. I feel like Disney having murder, having smoking donkeys or whatever in Pinocchio, like, it opens a conversation that needs to happen earlier than later. Yes, Disney is, I guess, promoting smoking in that instance, but like,
They're making it look fun.
Yeah, I guess they make it look fun, but at the same time, they are opening up a conversation, and that conversation needs to happen through a parental or guardian kind of figure much earlier than later. And like, those types of things, like, and I will agree, like 13 Reasons Why or other like ultra violent or ultra sexual content or whatever, that's kind of the extreme. But when you're talking about Disney or something that's going to be more family oriented, and them bringing up something, kids want to be curious and they want to be taught about something, or should be taught about something at a younger age. I just feel like it's not Disney's responsibility to do something and then say, yeah, but this is morally the wrong choice.
Mm-hmm.
For the sake of storytelling.
Do you think it's do you think it's McDonald's responsibility or Starbucks' responsibility to handle the garbage that they create for their products?
Do you mean like the garbage they're creating, or the people consuming the garbage?
Well, no.
Like to tell people, hey, it's
McDonald's
garbage.
and
Don't
Starbucks
eat
create garbage, right?
Right.
And we consume it, and then we throw the garbage away. Aren't they responsible for it? Like, isn't that why they switched to more recyclable means? Because they have a social responsibility.
Sure, and that's why they started adding calorie counts and stuff like that. That's why they've adapted a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm. And so we've held the food industry to very strict standards with that stuff.
Well,
Stricter
I
standards.
mean,
you're not storytelling either.
Yeah, there's something here that Josh said about how like you need to have those conversations like earlier on when something like that's brought up. It's like, oh, I'm seeing, like this smoking donkey in Pinocchio, like talking about that, like actually having like a real conversation, like parent to child. And the problem with culture right now, and I know like in regards to this documentary, she's in a very different circumstance, but a lot of parents just sit their kids in front of a TV or hand them a phone, and just that's how they're getting like all of their teaching and all of their training. They're not really being parented by their parents. They're just kind of letting the media do it. And then they're getting upset when media does something that they don't agree with, but they didn't do anything to stop that behavior.
Yeah. I don't know. But like at the same, I agree with you, but I don't feel like everyone can or should. I don't know. I guess like, yeah, like I don't watch YouTube all the time with the kids when they're watching YouTube, but I have sat and watched everything that they watch with them at some point in time. So I do know what the content is, and we've like, there's this one called Chef Pee Pee that I don't let them watch, or there's like this other one I don't let them watch because they blend reality and fantasy too well together. And I don't like, that bothers me. Like, I look for those types of things where I think we're in a culture where we're so focused on swear words. And swear words are like the least of our problems, and is the least of your children's problems. And I think that everyone's like so swear word conscious and so swear word worried that they allow children to watch families just consume endless toys and endless candy and have unlimited access to this stuff and never talk about it. And then their kids constantly have temper tantrums, which Jude's a temper tantrum kid, like, just so you know. That's been his temperament since he was a baby. Has always had temper tantrums about everything. And Dash has never had temper tantrums about anything. So handling those things is important. But I don't.
Well, and every kid's going to be different.
But every kid is
going to
different.
be curious about different things too.
And that's the thing, right? And it's weird, right? Like how they're going to respond to stuff is different, or how they even respond to the explanation. You know, like, you know, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I don't.
And
like,
I mean, and the earlier you have
parents
those conversations, the better it's going to turn out later too.
Maybe not. I don't like. I think that now, like, being a parent, and especially of two kids that are like so, like, they like the same things, but they are so different that one kid is motivated by that comment and one kid is discouraged by that comment, you know. And I think kids it's a lot harder than being like, hey, like, don't smoke, like that, right? What we saw, like, don't smoke, because some kids are gonna be like, sweet, add that to the list of things I should do to bug my parents.
Yeah, like, don't tell me what to do. You know?
And you know, and I think that there are going to be people out there who will handle, like, I know for us, like, we're pretty well balanced people, so we're not going to do the same thing when we see murder. But not everyone is that way. Like, some people will process it different and be like, oh, add that to the list of things that I could try to.
And I think that you hit the nail on the coffin too when you said, you know, separating reality from fantasy. And there are people that blur the line so much. And, like, in this case, you know, with Mommy, Dad, and Dearest in this situation, most kids, or most, you know, in most situations who have seen the regular world, this girl really hadn't.
Yeah.
Know, like, okay, yes, if you kill Mother Gothel, you're the hero, but that's in that circumstance in that cartoon movie. In the real world, there are police and there are consequences. Yeah. And they're like, I knew, you know, when I was a little kid about police and what they did and how they were, like, protecting people and they were, like, finding people. And, like, I had watched the evening news with my parents, you know, like, those kinds of things happened when I was a child. But for this situation, she was so sheltered
isolated.
And so isolated that, like, for her, the blurring of fantasy and reality were the same.
Yeah.
And so even in such a weird, drastic thing of watching an animated film, it was reality to her. Like, the ideals of that made sense. I think not blurring the reality or not blurring the fantasy together and making sure that they know as a child what's separate is super helpful.
Yes, and I think that is true, and I think that's a conversation that is important to have with children about the separation between fantasy and reality. Just like when Dash was watching the Dunkirk trailer. Again, people might be like, I can't believe you're going to let your kid go see Dunkirk. He wants to see it. He's fascinated by history and war. How do I not encourage that? How do I not encourage the discovery of more knowledge about our history of humanity, even if they're great tragedies? We should learn more about our great tragedies because maybe we'll stop repeating them, and
for real.
And not accept, like, you know, I don't know, fascist campaigns. So he's not fascist. We're talking about Trump. He isn't fascist. He doesn't have he's not fascist at all. He ran a fascist campaign. That's a totally different thing. Anyways, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. Like, it is important. Like, we have to, we should be taught, like, we should, that's why I think, and I'm trying to see if he can handle it. And he understands that these aren't actually, like, in real life, they were people that got killed and murdered, but in the movie, it's being reenacted. And, you know, like, I think it's cool that he wants to do that stuff. So I think, you know,
but I mean, and through ways that you have socialized him, he can make those distinctions.
Yeah. So here's my thing, though. This is why I wanted to talk about it, because we gotta wrap up here. This is almost you almost are getting an example of someone who not completely desocialized, but to, let's say, if we all have 100% social abilities, she had like 10%, okay? That is the message she took from the film.
Right.
Without other social influences, without family support, this is what the story taught her. These are what all the stories taught her. It was 54 films teaching her that it was okay to kill the bad guy. And that's what she took from it in that moment. And that's what I thought was interesting, is like almost completely removed from society and family structure and knowledge and information. She did take the message of kill your enemies.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means that like, do you feel like that I don't know, it just made me feel like that message is actually more powerful in those stories than maybe I realized.
I mean, I feel
because
like
I have all these social walls and barriers being like blocking me.
Well,
from...
exactly. Yeah, like everybody has those social walls, and it's like you don't think about that kind of stuff because there's deeper subtext that we're picking up on that she didn't.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the thing, because she was so removed.
Yeah,
Cool. And she didn't have somebody to teach her the difference.
I like when we do these little thought things. It's fun. I agree with you guys as well. I'm on your side. I don't think Disney.
Okay, somebody has to be devil's advocate.
Yeah, I just was asking the questions. But yeah, I think that Disney doesn't have a responsibility yet. I think that yet, because we did I think I like that they did like the Zootopia thing. I think that they should do more of that. But then I do think that they have to do the counterpart too, where they do kind of protect people from their stories in a sense. I don't know. We can't have our cake and eat it too, right? If they're doing it in one way, we should probably expect them to do it in another way. But with that, it has been episode 18 of the Disney Culture Club. You can follow us on all the social medias at Network 1901. Please go to network1901.com. It's a great website. Josh has put a ton of effort in, and you can find all our shows there. If you have come to us at a different time and you've missed some podcasts, it's all documented and archived there. Check it out. It is some great stuff. Also, go to Shannon's Pinterest page, pinterest.com/network1901. It is phenomenal. It is growing. There's so many great stuff. The World That Never Was is on Friday. There's more Modern Mouse Radio. Josh is going to be busy again. It's great times. It's great times for the network, and we're just continuing to roll on until we get more and more excited for D23. So, with that, I will see you in a galaxy far, far away. Bye, double hand wave.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.